Hello and welcome everyone to a second episode of Career Mode Shenanigans. I am Theriton. With me again I have Jagris. I can never seem to get your name right the first time I say it every night. To help provide a little bit of conversation and color commentary while we go through these missions. Just like the last time, I'm hoping to get 2 or 3 missions in tonight before we call it a stream. So let's see what we've got. Coming off of last week, we are 3 missions into a brand new default difficulty and settings Iron Mode career. We've expanded our mech bay slightly by adding an extra Panther and a Jenner to adding just a Jenner, I believe, to our lineup, which has been outfitted with a pair of large lasers as a bit of a sniper. We are currently intending to head towards Federated Sun Space, but we need to work our way up the mission difficulty stream a little bit before we have any planets that are really viable for us to approach there. So, to get us going here, let's just check and see what's in our local store. Juicy AC-10. And a couple of other minimal bonus items, but I think I'll hold off on that for now.
You're lucky. And I say that because anytime I went to a store, they weren't offering PPCs.
Are you suggesting I should be picking some up?
No. If you recall from last stream, I was talking about how I tend to favor running with longer ranged weapons in my lance complement, which includes the PPC.
Fair enough. On my campaign playthrough, I do have a bunch of PPC heavy mechs. I'm wondering if I should change that up a little bit this time. So I'm going to try to force myself out of the comfort zone a little bit. I think I may not allow myself to build mechs around PPCs on this career, just for the sheer difficulty of making myself do something else. So you may instead see me doing a whole bunch of large laser bouts. Who knows?
I like it. Hey, I'm all for observing like different styles of gameplay because Lord only knows I suck at this.
So my impression here is, yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult. I don't think I have a 2-skull lance yet. Let me check and see. So I'm going to be rocking about 150 tons of drop weight. That's about a skull and a half at most, but I don't really have any contracts at 1.5 skull right now, so it could be pretty dicey to try to push my way up to 2.
As I recall, at the end of last stream, you were looking through the different planets to determine like what you could sort of push, and I think you were looking at a planet that had like 1.5.
Yeah, that's what we're on Jamestown right now, and it's supposedly a 1.5 skull challenge. Maybe I should actually head the other way to Kamadir, where it's just a single skull. We started on Ilyushin, which is a half skull. So I think I'm going to go to the 1 skull. I'll absorb the extra travel time. It'll hurt a little bit for the company upkeep, but if I get missions that are appropriate for the Lance, that's probably the best.
Calculating course now, Commander.
Fair enough.
Every time I have to travel, of course, I really wish that I had a way to train my mech warriors in transit, but it's way too early to still be spending money into the Argo to try to upgrade it.
Right.
Well, I guess I'll move the stove to the kitchen. It's going to crop up somewhere anyway. Well, I guess I can absorb that because I'm going to be in transit for more than 7 days, so it is what it is. I'll have lost the medical and mech tech point penalties by the time I land, but I still get the permanent company boost of 2 morale. More morale means more resolve on the field, which means more called shots and initiative boosts.
Fair enough. Although, another thing I could definitely say about this is sometimes those random events will have some interesting consequences. Sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, and then your people are pissed off because of a feud, and then suddenly you've got a morale decrease because you were like, no, I'm going to be neutral and say, both of you stop being dumb.
Yeah, there's definitely times where you can get bitten by trying to do the middle of the road, but hey, you know what? It is what it is.
Oh yeah, and like I appreciate that they've done that because it adds another level to the game by giving that that little bit of variety that might not have been there before.
Alright, so I could do an assassinate mission that should be pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, we're trying to do this as salvage heavy as possible, so let's try it.
Oh my.
Yeah, so we've got basically a 1.5 skull lance, so I don't really want to take Mercnet contracts that are heavier than that until I'm really confident in what I've got.
Right. And honestly, that's the best way.
So, let's see if we can assassinate a diplomat who is, of course, somehow also going to be a mech warrior on the field.
Command interface initiated.
never as simple as killing the target and getting to the evac zone because, frankly, there's always reinforcements.
Not wrong.
So these are the escorts to our northwest. The reinforcements are north of them, and then the actual diplomat is nowhere near the escorts. Let's see if we can keep him away from the escorts then.
Oh shit.
What? What's up?
Oh, sorry. I'm playing City Skylines at the same time. It's supposed to happen.
On my way. Keep your eyes peeled, Commander. This looks like an ideal place for an ambush.
No,
Oh.
really? They have me in a shallow canyon, and it's an ideal spot for an ambush. Who would have thought?
On the move. On my way. Hostile on sensors. Location confirmed.
Well, the best I can do here is high evasion and park myself in cover. But with enough evasion, I want them to move out of cover first and get themselves into my line of sight.
This could be.
It is a little bit risky, but you know, this way when I use up my first round of movement, they will have had to crest that hill to get a line of sight on me, and I'll be able to choose my facings. The way that last mech is hanging back, I'd be willing to lay money it's a Panther.
Could be. So something that I do recall from the live streams is that they made sure that the outline of the incoming mechs would not necessarily give away what type of mech.
That's true, but I mean just the fact that there's two spiders charged that far ahead, and there's very few light mechs that are as slow as a Panther.
Fair enough. I'm just simply saying, like, for people watching, they made sure that it wouldn't necessarily be obvious, but you can certainly make educated guesses as to what type of mechs you are facing as they move forward. It's another cool sort of thing that they did that I like. It sort of keeps you in suspense. It also sort of adds an element to that strategy where you're sitting there going, okay, so this could be this type of mech or this kind of mech, so I'm gonna think about doing this kind of response, you know?
Yeah, interestingly, I just got hit with an LRM barrage on phase 3 from the north. Not a big one, but there's obviously something up there. I'm guessing it's from our assassinate target is probably in a medium mech.
Right.
That's been a couple of lucky hits so far. He doesn't have any side torsos left. Vindicator took out one with its PPC, and Panther just claimed the other.
Good, good, good.
Now, I could do melee attacks with the two Jenners on the spider, but a kick would not quite be enough to take it as center torso. So instead, I'm going to try to park 2 hexes away. Oh good, it's a Locust 1S, that's the SRM version.
Oh,
And we'll
actually,
see if we can take out what remains of this spider.
that is a good question. Something that I did not put much thought into is the different, I guess, version types of the mechs. So how can you tell what variant you're like? It's not how can you tell, like obviously if it's a 1S or a 1T, it's going to have something different. However, how did they design it so that players would know the 1T more likely has this type of weapon complement?
The simple answer, because they put the name visible when you mouse over the unit on the battlefield once you can see it, and the AI always seems to use the stock loadout. So if it says Locust 1S, it's a stock Locust 1S. It's never a custom version of it.
Okay, but
You can also right-click on the mech and see their loadout.
yes, no, that I know.
So
That I've used.
with a Locust, there's 3 versions you'll run into. There's the 1V, which has a medium laser and 2 machine guns. The 1S, which mounts SRMs, and the 1M, which I think of as missile, which is your LRMs.
Okay. So is this just a you've memorized the mech complements?
Unfortunately.
No, that's fine. I'm just like obviously it had to be an indicator somehow, right? But that certainly makes
There's actually also visual differences in the model. You can tell where they're mounting missiles versus autocannons.
ah.
I'll zoom in and I'll show you on a couple of them.
Okay. That would be good.
So here we have the Jenner 7D.
Mm-hmm.
And if it would stop going, you can see kind of the flat hold openings on the arms of the mech.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 medium lasers each. There's no barrel, and there's no bump in it that would indicate a missile. Missiles, if you look in the center torso of this, you can see the holes that have the little, you can actually see the warheads in it, and that right there in that center part, and that's actually what a missile rack looks like.
So the Jenner is clearly camera shy.
It's a light mech, it's just torso twitchy.
Waiting for orders. On my way.
So since I reserved last turn, I fired almost last, but now I have a chance to use my initiative at the start, so I'm getting a double hit on this poor Locust that's down.
Mah.
On it.
Yeah, if there's anything that I definitely don't use nearly as much as called shots. Nice. You lucky Goomba.
Well, in that case, it didn't actually take out the leg that I was looking for, it just popped his torso, but yeah. I'm considering myself more lucky the fact that the Panther just missed it with its PPC.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Commander. Confirmed.
Now, let's see if I can sneak into the rear arc of this spider while still being in cover. I can actually get a better shot on the Jenner, because it hasn't moved much.
All weapons are go.
True.
So I'll take the opportunity. That left arm destruction should, I believe, have taken out 2 of his 4 medium lasers. So that took a nice chunk off of his potential armament. Spider only mounts 2 mediums anyway, so I'm not as worried about it as a ranged combatant.
Right.
Ready for orders.
Now, unfortunately, I can't get line of sight, so the best I can do is park this Panther in a whirlwind, which counts as cover, just like trees, and see Jenner again is my best chance.
Engaging target.
Mm-hmm.
That poor enemy Jenner is not looking happy. Rear attack. Oh, shoot, I forgot about that LRM boat.
Oh,
Though that looked like a single LRM 5, so I want to guess Shadowhawk?
possible. I have had decent success with a Shadowhawk.
If there's anything that is slowly bugging me about the game, it's that there is a less variety than I would have preferred.
In what way?
In the actual tabletop technical readouts, there's probably 4 or 5 mechs at each tonnage, so 20, 25, 30, 35, etc. And you don't see that variety here, including some that were kind of iconic in the tabletop game, like Wasps or Stingers were supposed to be your dirt common light mechs right alongside the Locusts. Things like Panthers and Jenners were really much more only common in certain areas, like the Draconis Combine, which is on the opposite side of the universe from where this BattleTech game really focuses. In the medium categories, I haven't seen a Phoenix Hawk. I haven't seen an Axeman, or I haven't seen a Hatchetman. In the heavies, I haven't seen an Axeman or a Rifleman. In the assault categories, I haven't seen an Archer, which is an LRM boat, which I love. I haven't seen a Rifleman, which is basically the grown-up cousin of a Jagermech, where the Jagermech usually mounts twin AC2s and twin AC5s. The Rifleman will do it with quad AC5s, I think. So it's that much more damage output, and it's also much better armored. The Warhammer in the assault category is a twin PPC boat. Instead, they seem to have gone with the PPC version of the Banshee, and they decided to throw in the Awesome Mech, which was apparently not a very common one at all. Like, not a very common machine to see on the field. So there's certainly some that oh, and they don't have the Marauder. And that, if anything, is an iconic piece of design. Um, if you remember the MechWarrior games, do you remember the Mad Cat?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
the first one that comes to mind. Yes.
The reason it was named a Mad Cat is it's a cross of design between the Marauder, which uses the MAD as its code, like its three-letter code, and the Catapult. It's the Catapult's legs and torso and shoulder boxes, and the Marauder's arms.
Oh.
And they don't have the Marauder. The Marauder has those two PPC arms, and then it has almost like a top swivel-mounted AC-5 above the cockpit instead of the two blocky LRM pods.
Mhm.
I am very sad to have not seen that in the game.
Okay.
Maybe it's there, but it certainly has not shown up in any missions that I've seen.
What I can tell you is that with the launch of Flashpoint, they did release 3 mechs added, as well as a biome, as well as the Flashpoint missions, which adds over 40 hours of content. Because they're...
But do you know which 3 mechs they were there?
Yeah, I wrote about it.
Well,
My review hasn't gone up yet, but yes, I know what 3, and I can confirm that yes, the Hatchetman is one of them.
okay. At least one of my, gripes is addressed.
Yes. What I can also say is, we did see that there will be another expansion that is slotted for the summer of this year.
Urban Warfare, I believe.
Yes. I'm not sure what that's going to include. So we'll see what happens, but nobody has any details on that. And even if I did, I wouldn't be able to say anything. I just know that there is another DLC.
You know, the other thing that actually it kind of bugs me is that you can never play an urban mech. You destroy a couple of them in the first tutorial mission of the campaign. They're there as target practice. They burned out hulks of them, but you never get to actually play them in the game.
Yeah, I can't say that I've reached far enough to
They are a
say.
light mech, and so you would expect them to have shown up early. They're supposedly dirt cheap because they move as slow as molasses. But that actually makes them pretty okay in a city setting because they are your heavy weapon light mech. I can't remember if it's an AC-10 or an AC-20 that they mount, but their run speed is the equivalent of a Panther's walk.
Wow.
So they're the sort of thing that you hide behind a building, and when the enemy comes around the corner, they get a hole in their face. That's the sort of thing that the urban mechs do. They are kind of the ideal close quarters ambusher.
Right.
You don't expect a light mech to mount something like that, like an AC-20. It's just damage output that is painful.
Commander?
Is that it?
What? Is that the end of my list of beefs? Oh no, you know me, I can go on and
No,
on
no,
and
no,
on.
no, no. No, I had a sinkhole. I forgot entirely how to pair.
Firing.
single SRM out of that entire volley hit the Jenner, and it did a crit on its medium laser. What? I turned off one of my lasers. It was supposed to not be heating up like that. Yeah, maybe I forgot to turn it off. Whatever.
Standing by.
5 people lost. Not bad. It was a small sinkhole. Again, I can't fix the roads.
There we go. There's that poor enemy Jenner's leg and torso, side torso taken out, so it's not going anywhere. Loses its last extra remaining chevron of evasive.
I'm being flanked.
Oh, this could be bad. Right into the rear of the Jenner again.
I'm showing minor damage.
Let's see if I can do something decent by rolling a medium mech onto a spider. Yep, there goes his leg. Still wish that falling did damage. And you just took down one of my Jenner's legs.
Yeah.
Waiting for orders. Moving to position. Acknowledged.
Okay, that's their Jenner down.
Destroyed. Good to go.
Cute.
Coordinates received.
Now let's see if I can pull the Panther back to a position I can use it on this down spider. Not to great effect, unfortunately.
Engaging physical attack.
And stomp on the downed spider, take out a side torso, and then blow his center torso with a small laser. How humiliating.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Ouch.
Ready for orders.
Down he goes.
Now the question, do I try to get my guy in the Jenner out, or make use of him before he falls? There's nowhere I can move that will break line of sight with that Panther. So I guess I just have to make the best of it.
Reduce mobility. My mech is limping. Engaging with target.
Good news is it made the Panther retreat and he missed his PPC shot on next turn, so Jenner lives another day.
Let's do this.
I'm trying to find something that's being quiet.
Standing by.
I don't.
On my way.
Unfortunately, I don't have anybody with LRMs or the sensor log skill, so there's not too much I can do right now.
That's a miss. Yes, Commander. Location confirmed.
So I'll just limp up the hill in the hopes that in a turn or so I can hide behind the lip of that hill for whenever that medium mech comes calling.
And that it will.
It definitely will.
How's it going?
Well, I guess I may as well break out with the other Jenner and get some evasion stars, or evasion chevs at least. Oh, that's dangerous. That is very, very dangerous. Quintero. So, it was hitting me with a single LRM-5, but now that I'm closer range, it's got triple SRM-6s on there, and a pair of lasers, which I'm less worried about.
Target locked in.
This will probably hurt.
Prob.
Oh, this is definitely going to hurt.
Yeah, it's.
Wait, seriously? He only hit me with a couple of medium lasers.
Yeah, I just saw that. Intriguing.
Time to seek cover and start sniping. So in this case, I'm going to use the multi-shot because the PPC has a better chance of hitting the Kintaro if the LRMs are equal on both of them. So I may as well continue sanding down that Panther a little bit.
Sanding. That's funny.
Our primary target is taking damage.
Thank goodness for the sensor impairment on PPC hits, because that's really going to be handy in keeping that Kintaro at bay.
Took a hard hit there. Waiting for orders.
Interesting.
Just have to keep backing up with my long-range mechs. Unfortunately, the Panther cannot reach the whirlwind and still fire this turn, so...
Yeah.
Oh, how I wish this pilot had multi-shot, but he doesn't. So I'll take the 80% on the Kintaro.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Get myself moving to keep some evasion bonus and get into whirlwind up here.
Firing on rear arc.
Darn it, I was really hoping that would connect with the torso.
Aw.
Receiving you. Affirmative.
Okay, poor little legged, battered Jenner can at least get up top where only one thing can see him and get some cover.
On it.
Push it to the edge of overheat and try to get some extra damage in. Not that it did much. I'm really wondering why he hasn't closed and started really just unloading on me with the SRMs. At the same time, I'm very happy.
Very thankful.
Engaging multiple targets.
That Panther of theirs is absorbing far too much of a beating.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go. Coordinates received. On it.
Rats.
Negative damage. Repeat. Negative damage.
55% chance to hit, and of course that means miss.
Good to go.
Of course it does.
Now, do I expose my mech again? I guess so. I need all the firepower I can to try to reduce targets so that I can concentrate fire.
I copy.
Well, that was a happy shot. Take out, I think, his PPC there. Yep.
Nice.
Receiving you.
I could melee the Kintaro from behind.
Ooh.
but it would not go into structure on any of his locations. Better then to keep moving within the whirlwinds and try to shoot him from behind instead.
Yeah.
Ooh, or I could shoot the Panther from behind.
Tempting.
Kintaro is by far the bigger threat. I was really hoping for a lucky ammo explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Seriously, that's all you're doing?
Damage minimal.
I feel like this guy has no SRM ammo or something.
Or maybe he's just waiting. But why?
Well, okay, he's out of range of the SRMs of my Vindy right now, so that's a thing.
Engaging multiple targets.
Scratch another target.
Okay, finally. Panther is down, so now we can just circle in that Kintaro and see what we can do.
Yes, Commander.
Keep moving the Panther back. And give him a round off or he's going to overheat.
Good to go. Move order received.
Fortunately, this little Jenner can slip right into his back arc again. And can get both lasers off. Center torso is not looking good.
Waiting for orders. Roger that.
Poor little Jenner, limping, baking with heat. I keep waiting for him just to turn and smoke one of my mechs. Yeah, like this. But it would have been much more effective if he hit my light mech.
Armor low.
Oh.
It may be time to get in a slugging match with this guy just to tie him up. I should have used the +1 evasion ability on, or +1 initiative ability on my medium mech before I fired. Oops.
Ready for orders. On it. Waiting for orders. On my way.
Gotta see if I can keep pelting him from behind with these lasers. It seems to be pretty effective. You know, when they hit a torso.
Orders. On my way.
But I suppose every ounce of damage I can put on him helps.
True enough.
Walking on target.
Ow, why did you go for the Panther?
I'm taking internal damage.
Oh, got his LOM ammo, which probably means that he's gone.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Oh, he
Good.
survived the LOM explosion. Nice.
Standing by. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Scored
Whoops.
a critical hit.
I should really be more careful about how I'm trying to take them down, but at this point, with a mech that's as dangerous as Quintero, I just want him gone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one.
Let's see if I can do a called shot to the center torso rear.
Got the
Just
ammo.
core him out. Yes.
Mech destroy.
Mission successful.
Whoops.
I don't think I've had a single assassinate mission I've played so far where I haven't just eliminated everything on the board. Never just take the target and go to the evac point. Just kill them all.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, I can't say that I've ever, left anything. There might be one mission where it was like, okay, actually, I think it might have been that crazy laser one that I was talking about before. Oh, well, that's helpful.
Okay, well, we can take the Panther, which will complete a set. We'll take the only piece of the Kentaro that survived. And then they gave us the spider anyway. The unfortunate part is losing that leg on the Jenner means the pilot got injured, so now pilot's out of action for a few days. Plus, of course, having to replace the limb costs money. Darn you for taking up all my money.
That mech is ready to fight, Commander.
30 grand.
Well, frankly, I never use the spiders and commandos anyway, so I guess I can sell them.
Roger that. 8.15.
I'm gonna try something. I rarely use the jump jets on it anyway. So if I strip off the 2.5 tons of jump jets, I can add the SRM ammo to the center torso, where it's slightly more protected.
Mm-hmm.
Add a couple of extra heat sinks so that I don't go down to only being able to fire one laser and an SRM4 quite so quickly.
Right.
Samira, can I get a 5-1 check on our current position?
There we go, that looks better. Add 2 heat sinks, drop 2 medium lasers, and add a second SRM4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I discovered that the
Now,
SRMs are teeny.
yeah, now let's see here. So 100 rounds, so I'm now firing 8 missiles a round, so I've got 10, 12 and a half rounds of firing. If it's not dead by then, medium lasers will have to do.
Alright then. The good news is that by doing that, you're not costing yourself ass tons, and it doesn't take a long time to repair or
Yep.
like to re-outfit.
That's true, and I've also been able to beef up the center torso and the leg armor a bit.
Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of funny because in the campaign I've looked at, okay, it's going to be this many millions of days for my guys to recover, for the mechs to be re-outfitted. It's like, okay, we're gonna take a travel contract, you know, and like calculate it out and go, okay, so I'm gonna run this many days, and then I'm gonna turn around and start the travel contract, and then I'm gonna go travel, and by the time I get there, I should be good. Now, this is both good and bad because, one, if everything goes well, your mechs and your people will all be fixed by the time you reach your destination. If the game decides to throw one of those random events at you, it means there's potential for your guys walking into a mission with decreased morale because you made the wrong decision.
Very true.
It's quite funny. I try to, I don't know if you ever had to worry about this, but in my first playthrough of the campaign, there was a couple of times where I did a slightly less than standard pay, and that was just because I knew I was like super thin on resources, and that's why I was going to take some baby mission that would give me like 300,000 or something at least to be able to keep myself afloat. Um, I'm sitting there like taking that gamble. But what happens is some of those random events happen a little bit more often when you're paying less than the standard salary. You're like, okay,
Oh.
that's fun.
So I've been bemoaning the lack of a missile boat, and there's this LOM-20 sitting in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I could fit it in the center torso Panther that I salvaged.
You could. The question is, will you?
Yeah, I'm gonna foolishly spend some money.
New weapon systems.
Alright then.
available.
And I guess I need some ammunition too.
That might help.
New equipment available.
Ooh, what's this? Oh. Cool.
There we go. Instead of a PPC and an SRM-4, it's now a medium laser and an LRM-20, and a couple of tons of extra armor. It's now almost maxed out.
Well,
Here we go. I'll strip some extra armor off of that left arm that doesn't have anything in it, and off the rear side torsos, so that I can beef up the legs.
intriguing. Do you do that just so that you have less of a chance of being knocked down?
Pretty much, because once this thing is out of its LOM ammo, which will take it 12 shots, all it's got is a medium laser, so it's going to end up becoming a light brawler.
Right.
Which means it's suddenly going to be drawing fire.
Alright.
And so actually I'll beef up the right arm as well, because that's what the medium laser is, and it's right beside the torso where I put all the ammo.
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad idea.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
What? I'm like a couple of weeks in to this, and they're offering me a 5 skull travel mission. If only I was well known enough with the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to burn a bit of time.
We're almost completely out of cash.
It's interesting because I know that if you have the DLC, you will see Flashpoint missions sort of appear, on the map. That doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be prepared for them at the time that they appear, but they do stay in the system or like on the planet for a good amount of time before it were to disappear. So I suppose theoretically, it would be possible. I'm very interested to figure out why your game, because I'm assuming you don't have Flashpoint.
No, I don't.
Okay, so I'm very curious to understand why early enough in this you would already be offered, technically, be shown a 5 skull mission.
Not sure, but it's pirate faction, so I think it's yeah, we need something to fill the slot.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because I know, like, there are sometimes, like, you're on 3 skull missions, you're working your way up kind of deal. And occasionally there'll be, like, a 4 skull in there. They are like, should I? You know?
Alright, so I can go out to a mission with my standard lance. I should probably remember to try to skill up some of these people.
Training confirmed, Commander.
You know what? I'm going to turn myself into a master technician so that I can pilot that fire support mech myself.
Commander?
Alright then.
Mech warrior training complete.
Commander.
Standing by.
Training complete.
Standing by.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Alright, so that first mission was a qualified success, shall we say.
That is good.
Now, honestly, I have never voluntarily taken an escort mission to date.
Correct.
If I intend to try to continue boosting my reputation with the Federated Sons, I might have to.
Well, the good news is that you're still early enough in progression where you still have fairly mobile mechs, making it easier technically to take on such a mission. Because later on in the game, when you tend to
Fought
have
around
heavier
and
mechs,
assaults, yeah.
yeah, you're moving like molasses.
Well, I can negotiate for 4 priority and 18 total salvage, so I guess that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are times where I've been extremely happy with the salvage in that normally I just keep it at like the standard, the sort of halfway point between here's where you get paid and here's what you can get for salvage, because they always give you extra salvage to some degree. And there are moments in time that the extra salvage that they give you is kind of like, thank you for giving that to me because I was prioritizing like parts for a particular mech that I wanted or whatever. And sitting there going, but I'd really love to have that other thing, but dumb me. And sometimes the game will just give it to you.
Indeed, or you have a 2/10 or something, and there's 3 parts for a mech, and you pick 2 of them, and it randomly gives you the third. Just like as a freebie. Here, have a complete unit.
Exactly. Now, I've never been fortunate enough to get a full mech on one mission, but I could see how that would be highly useful.
Ugh, this terrain bites.
Yes. This looks oddly familiar. Or at least some of it does.
This looks like the game laughing at me for the fact I decided that I could afford to ditch the jump jets.
It's funny, the jump jets is definitely something that I underuse. He's so little.
Engaging jump jets.
Pink.
Roger that. Moving out.
Another reason why I said this mission might not be a bad idea, because you have lighter mechs, you do have a couple that have the jump jets, which will...
You mean that I haven't stripped the jump jets off of yet in favor of a couple extra
Exact.
heat sinks and a few points of armor that might make the difference between life and crippled?
Right. But also consider this is only a half skull. So, this also works to your advantage. It's a turret. A few turrets.
No, this is a friendly base, so that's an enemy vehicle.
Oh, okay, I was looking at the thing on the right.
Yeah, that's also an unknown vehicle.
Really? Oh, okay. Fair enough. I'm leaned back, it looked like it was a turret.
I guess I'll get the Jenners on the left, and my Panther and my Vindicator will take the right.
Sweet. It amuses me how that one mech moves. I have no idea what, but for some reason it does.
Let's charge full face first into combat and see what we've got. Oh look, we've got another Jenner. And a striker.
That was a nice chunk of damage.
Yes, since I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to take the Jenner down in one turn, I'm going to see if I can at least take the striker out before I can fire. And the answer is yes.
Twitch delay. There we go.
Standing by.
This is a very interesting map.
Up high.
Yeah, like I could actually stand units in the water to try to use the heat, but instead I'm
Yep.
just going to try to, blaze them down with PPCs before I overheat.
Mah.
Vehicle trashed.
Well, it's dead.
So they had a striker, a manticore, a Jenner, and a galleon is their blocking force? Okay.
Oh, there's the galleon.
Probably not worth splitting the fire, better just to get rid of one threat off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Enemy unit destroyed.
And this before I've even actually gotten to the rally point.
Yeah.
Yes, Commander. Moving to position. Roger that.
Interesting.
Receiving you. Roger that.
Trying to put some pain into his rear arcs.
Firing
Of course.
all weapons. Solid connection on that one.
Ooh.
His side torsos aren't too terribly happy, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I probably should have used one of the precision shots to try to up my chances of getting his center torso rear.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Got it.
Oh well.
action on that one.
Hmm.
Try to keep my height advantage as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Engaging target.
Yeah, that was not the right leg that you hit, but
Enemy neck. Critical damage detected.
Let's do this. Got it.
there we go.
One last target.
Nice.
Engaging jump jets.
Engaging jump jet.
Copy that.
Copy that.
Am I allowed to go
Nope.
stomp on my own convoy?
No. That would not be a good idea.
That's highly unfortunate. It would be so very chaotic.
On the move.
That is a word for it.
Not saying it would be chaotic good, but it would be chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's, chaotic neutral. We destroyed their forces, so we have to suffer some casualties too.
that
It's
that
all
would not.
about balance, as all things must be.
I mean, balance is good and all, but at the same time, you're gonna end up costing yourself.
Affirmative.
I feel like I should be doing some finger snapping.
Adam's family much?
No, more like Thanos and balance, the Marvel Infinity War references.
Right.
Location confirmed.
Because, yes, I took down their mechs, but maybe I didn't quite reduce them to ash. But I've got lasers, and time, so I guess I could.
Mm-hmm.
So, the one thing I don't know right now is,
Standing by.
do more enemies actually spawn? Or have I taken everything out and that's all there is to it?
I don't know in this case.
I feel like the idea is that there should be some of that blocking force left, trying to target the convoy or something.
Possible. I mean, it is only a half skull, so it wouldn't surprise me if you already took out the complement.
Well, I very deliberately took everything out before triggering the secure the rally point objective.
Right. Yeah, because most
Because-
people would go straight for the objective, yeah.
Stabilizing. Engaging coolant system.
We'll just pass a turn.
Taking a protective stance.
Using spacebar to try to speed up their movement a little bit.
Mm-hmm. A useful tactic. Although you have to be particular about when you hit spacebar, because sometimes it doesn't blitz through what you want. Or at least that I found.
Coordinates received.
On the move.
On the move.
There we go.
You're in position, Commander. Hold your ground until the
Woohoo.
package is on its way.
Paracommandos. Okay, I can deal with these.
Yeah, so that's the other thing that happens is sometimes you reach the point and then the shit shows up and you're like, well then.
Yeah, I should have known with the protect the convoy while the dropship arrives.
Fair.
Commander?
First volley uses the side torso.
Heavy damage.
Well, that one will be quick.
Commander.
Yeah, also that camera. Sometimes the lighting's just equally messed up.
Firing a full salvo. That's going to hurt.
Not great chances to hit on them, so anything helps.
Commander.
Mm-hmm.
On the move.
There we go. The plus accuracy large laser.
Yeah.
And there goes his other side torso.
Critical hit.
Well, he's not a happy clam.
I would imagine not. I don't like the speed at which they do the rotation animation. So the mech was walking backwards there, and then it was suddenly like, pivot!
Yeah.
And there was no movement of the feet or anything else. I feel like you could have slowed that down and made a couple of steps with the mech's feet to pivot in the spot.
Hmm.
Making sure at least one medium laser goes on the guy who hadn't been touched yet, so he's been engaged and doesn't go for the convoy vehicles.
Good plan.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Down you go. Go, little things, go.
Oh, you poor commando. You never really had a chance, did you?
Waiting for orders. Copy that.
Yes, Commander. Firing all weapons.
Hope that cockpit's watertight.
Ready for orders.
Well, I don't know with the amount of damage you did. Might not be.
All weapons are go. Think I hit something good.
Well, I was trying to destroy the legs.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Didn't work so much.
Not exact.
Confirmed.
Good to go.
Just should probably make sure that I have it covered with sensors. Never know if there's going to be another wave in this game.
True.
Especially gun shy after some of the campaign missions.
Yeah.
Mission successful.
Nice. That was fairly flawless.
Be so much nicer to have these contract payment increase ones if I was actually taking the C bills.
Hmm.
No mech will require time in the repair bay. Awesome. So the only things from that mission I didn't get from the salvage is one jump jet and one piece of generic SRM ammo. I think I can live with that.
That mech is ready to fight, Commander.
Alright, so we've assembled another commando, which is basically my payment for the mission. Now, one of the differences, of course, between campaign and career is that with the default settings in career, the mechs that you assemble are empty, as opposed to campaign, where you assemble them and with the default settings they are filled with their default equipment. So that makes selling the mechs in career on this setting less lucrative, since you don't have all the extra components that will dump into your stockpile.
Right.
That said, we're now at 3 months of operating finances instead of 1, so I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Receiving you.
Training confirmed, Commander.
What's up, boss?
Mech warrior training complete.
For some reason, I'm really attached to having everybody at 4s across the board before I try to specialize them.
How's it going?
Just a personal thing.
Good to go.
I look at it just kind of like as a basic professional level of competence. It means they have, decent piloting, decent gunnery, 1 extra health, and 1 less indirect fire penalty by the time you choose which way to take them. I guess there's one more that I should do here. But I don't really have any more that are appropriate level that are with the Fed Sons, and I noticed when I was browsing before that those contracts are against Davian.
Ah.
Well, this one is a skull and a half. It's against pirates, but they see it that one.
It's funny because, like, of all the things that I considered necessarily with the game, the who's giving out the missions, like, until later on when you've built up, reputation with a particular faction, then I start sort of paying attention to whom I've managed to affiliate myself with, but
And that's true, but in this case, I'm hoping off the bat to go right into Davian employ as I build myself up, so I don't really want to take any missions against them. The faster I can try to ally with them or whatever, the better. Now, as it is, however, our stream has topped over an hour and a half, so we've done 2 missions tonight. We've got our brand new fire support Panther that should be done pretty soon. By that point, our pilot will be back in action. Our finances are looking healthy. I really think that we're pretty well set up here. I may just try hopping to the next system over, back where we started, just to generate some additional missions.
Mm-hmm.
And unless there's something that really grabs me right away, I'll probably call the stream, and we'll pick up again maybe tomorrow night.
That sounds like fun.
Obligatory animations of your ship talking with the jump ship to hop to the next system over.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. I like it.
I actually really like how, as it breaks for planetary orbit, you see the pods swing out and start rotating.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're actually folded down in the correct direction that drive thrust would give them gravity while it's moving. And then... Ooh, black market invitation.
Ooh.
Now, I passed up the invitation in my campaign, and I have regretted it because it never showed up a second time.
Really?
So, even though this is a painfully high number right now, I am still going to pay the membership fee. Fortunately, we will dock at the planet before our financial report comes due. Which means it's time to sell some heat sinks. And maybe some medium lasers.
Looks like we've arrived, Commander.
Oh, for the lack of 1.9 million C-bills I could burn, I could get a Wolverine. .22 generic small jump jets. Yep, that's going.
Are you looking at the black market?
No, I am currently selling on the standard market.
Oh, okay.
I wanted
Sorry.
a little bit of a comfort zone after my financial report comes due in a couple of days.
Right.
We've got a couple of blackout drunk mech warriors snuffling around in hydropods. I'd suggest you take care of it before they break something. Yeah, all right. I'm on it.
Okay, so it looks like we'll have some good things for when we resume tomorrow, but for now... I'm going to call that a stream. So thank you all for joining me, and have yourself a great night. This has been episode 2 of Career Mode Shenanigans, and we'll see you next time for episode 3. Thank you, Jagtress, for joining us tonight.
Not a problem.
And anyone who's watching this on YouTube, thank you for the views. Don't forget to rate it up if you liked it. And I'm always on the Reddit forums, so be sure to give feedback there if you have any. Thanks, and have a good night.